Hello and welcome to Business 360. I am Ashmit Kumar and here are the headlines that we're tracking this evening. It's the 13th day of gain on Dalal-Street as Sensex and Nifty mark their longest winning streak on record, but the gains are limited as bulls consolidate at record levels. The board of Gujarat Gas approves a scheme that will allow 3 group entities to merge with itself. Company says the restructuring will simplify the holding structure, enhance synergy and unlock value for shareholders. Gujarat Gas and Gujarat State Petronet rally in trade. Two-wheelers accelerate further in August. TVS, Hero Moto and Bajaj Auto report better than estimated sales growth. Passenger vehicle sales outperformed commercial vehicles. The union government has initiated preliminary discussion with the RBI and SEBI for amending rules to allow the creation of a sovereign wealth fund. Sources say a $5 billion fund can create $10 billion worth of investment opportunities every year. That's an exclusive. The Union Cabinet clears 7 schemes to bolster the agriculture sector with an outlay of nearly 14,000 crore rupees. Also clears a proposal from Keynes Semicon to set up a plant in Gujarat with an investment of 3,300 crore rupees. Congress party levels fresh conflict of interest allegations against SEBI chief Madhabi Puri Book, accuses her of drawing a remuneration worth nearly 17 crore rupees from ICICI Bank while she was still employed with the market regulator. This comes after Hindenburg accused SEBI chief of conflict of interest in the Adani probe. Heavy rains battered Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. At least 27 people have been killed. Over 17,000 people have been evacuated as incessant rains lead to widespread flooding. Train services impacted across the 2 states. Schools and colleges remain shut in Hyderabad. Supreme Court decides to intervene against the state governments deploying bulldozers to demolish properties of accused persons. Asks how can a house be demolished even if the person is convicted. Calls for pan-India guidelines to streamline bulldozer demolitions. Schools, offices in Israel's largest airport are shut after a one-day strike by unions. Nationwide anger simmers over the death of 6 hostages and failed ceasefire talks. Israeli army continues to bomb Gaza, killing 11 people who were sheltering at a school. Government summons the content head of Netflix over the web series IC814 on the hijacking of the Indian Airlines flight to Kandahar by a terrorist group. Centre likely to seek an explanation over the representation of terrorist figures in the series. Well, let's begin with a quick look at the day's market action. The gains were limited, but records continued to tumble. Sensex and Nifty ended at a record high for the 5th straight session. This was also the 13th straight session of gains for the indices. This is the longest winning streak on record, but the bulls did consolidate at record levels. As I mentioned, the gains were limited. Mid-caps underperformed in trade. Prashant Nair is now joining us with a quick wrap of the day's market action. Prashant.
Well, an absolutely quiet day today with the Nifty, the Sensex, the Nifty Bank really not taking out any of the ranges on the upside or on the downside. So did not violate supports, did not get to sort of resistances as well. Actually, the Nifty did get past the 25,300 level, and that is the first sort of target. But then there was a bit of a sell-off which happened. Market went flat, but there was help from Nifty Bank. So the Nifty Bank saw a rally mid-session, and that led the Nifty back up once again. Broader markets were sideways, lackluster, about a 0.25% cut on the mid-cap index and the small-cap indices. Remember, today is the 13th day when the markets have been up, and that is sort of unprecedented. You've got to go back a long time in history to find that kind of unbroken streak. Now, what was up today? FMCG, if you look at sectors, FMCG was a winner. PSU banks and IT services were winners as well. On the downside, metals did poorly and so did pharmaceuticals. I'll start with gainers on the Nifty first, stocks. But the Bajaj twins, Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance, the housing subsidiary IPO is, of course, what people are watching. HCL Tech was higher. Hero, Bajaj Auto, from the automobile pack, and SBI Life participated as well. On the downside, cuts coming through in names like Hindalco, Dr. Reddy's and Tata Motors coming through. Broader markets, there were losers in the form of Idea. There was Dixon, which was down. Remember, more down than up today in terms of the breadth of the market. Indus Tower, Granules, Genus Power, Moil, Symphony and Kirloskar Brothers were some of the other names. On the upside, Gujarat Gas, news-based, that three-way merger coming through. Geo Finance was a mover. The Adani Group stocks, Power and Green, both were higher. Bajaj Holdings was another one. Godrej Industries, these jewelers, Thangamile Jewelers and Senco were sharp movers higher. And something like AG's Logistics was another one which did well. Day on day markets continued to sort of stretch this up move. And ultimately, as we've been saying, it looks like the Nifty perhaps is headed to about 25,500 or so. The question is, will we pause before that? Or will this, the market has legs for this to continue a bit longer. Remember, global markets will be absolutely quiet. So when you come back in the morning, it'll be Asia for company and, of course, the markets trading off of their own steam. Back to you.
All right, Prashant, thanks so much for that. And speaking of the markets, the regulator SEBI has tightened new eligibility norms for stocks in the futures and options segment. The new rules will triple the minimum median quarter sigma order size and market-wide position limit. Brokerage firm Nuvama has said that the updated criteria could lead to the exclusion of as many as 18 stocks. Stocks like ABOT India, Granules India and Metropolis are likely to be excluded, while Geo Financial and Zomato might be included in the F&O segment. Well, on to the commodities space, where oil prices extended losses owing to expectations of higher production amid sluggish demand. This after reports that OPEC countries and its allies are set to proceed with a planned oil output hike from the month of October. This, along with sluggish demand in China and the US, outweighed a sharp drop in output coming in from Libya. Gold prices dipped as the dollar closed in on a two-week high. Expectations of a rate cut from the US Fed in September also pushed prices lower. And India's manufacturing activity slowed to a three-month low in the month of August, but expanded for the 38th consecutive month since July of 2021. The HSBC Purchasing Managers Index for the month stood at 57.5 versus 58.1 in July. This drop was largely led by softening demand, slow growth in new factory orders and weak exports. A reading below 50 denotes contraction, and that above 50 signifies expansion. And coming in from action in the auto space, the auto sector, the two-wheelers accelerated further in August, reporting a double-digit growth across the segment. TVS, Hero Moto and Bajaj Auto reported better than estimated sales, while passenger vehicle sales outperformed commercial vehicles in the four-wheeler segment. Sudarshan Kumar is joining us now with more details. Sudarshan, take us through the key numbers.
In the month of August, two-wheeler companies have reported a strong set of sales, and sales were much ahead of estimates. For four-wheelers, passenger vehicle segment has done better than commercial vehicle segment. Talking first about two-wheelers, TVS Motor, Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto have reported sales which were much better than estimates, and total sales were up in the range of 5 to 16%, with motorcycle segment continues to lead the growth for all the three companies. Starting with TVS Motor, total sales were up 13% year-on-year and 11% month-on-month, and two-wheeler segment, both motorcycle and scooter have seen a growth in double digits. Coming to Hero MotoCorp, total sales were up 5% year-on-year and 38% month-on-month. For Hero Moto as well, motorcycle segment growth was 6% year-on-year and 41% month-on-month. Even outlook looks positive for Hero MotoCorp. Company says it expects strong growth in upcoming festive season. For Bajaj Auto, all the segments have seen a healthy growth, and growth was in the range of 5 to 24%. Two-wheeler segment for Bajaj Auto also continues to lead the growth. It was up 18% year-on-year and 13% month-on-month. For Bajaj Auto, even three-wheeler segment has seen a healthy growth, and it was in double digits in the month of August. Coming to four-wheelers, for Tata Motors, sales have missed estimates, and it was majorly dragged by commercial vehicle segment. So talking specifically about commercial vehicle segments, overall sales were down in the range of 21 to 23%, and except passenger carrier, all the segments have seen a drop. For Maruti Suzuki, sales were almost in line with estimates, and talking positives about Maruti Suzuki utility vehicles, that is the SUV segment, has seen a healthy growth both year-on-year and month-on-month, and sales to other OEM remain about 10,000 units for second straight month. If we can talk negatives about Maruti Suzuki, that is the compact car segment, which remains remains under pressure. Last is M&M. It has reported sales which were much better than estimates, and here SUV continues to lead the growth. Even tractor sales were almost in line with estimates. So total sales were up 9% year-on-year and 16% month-on-month, and SUV sales were up 16% year-on-year. So for the month of August, passenger segment, both two-wheelers and four-wheelers have done better than commercial vehicle segment.
Right, Sudarshan, thanks a lot for crunching those numbers for us. And speaking of numbers, India's goods and services tax collections grew by 10% year-on-year to 1,75,000 crore rupees in the month of August. However, collections have fallen compared to last month. Meanwhile, lower domestic collections, along with a 38% rise in GST refunds, resulted in a single-digit growth in the net tax collection. And the government has slashed the price of aviation turbine fuel by 4.6% ahead of the festive season. ATF price was cut by 4.58% to 4,495 rupees per kilolitre in Delhi. The price of commercial LPG was increased by 39 rupees to nearly 1,700 rupees per 19 kg cylinder. This is the second consecutive month of an increase after 4 months of reductions. Meanwhile, price of cooking gas and petrol remain unchanged. Now, the union government has initiated preliminary discussions with the RBI as well as the market regulator SEBI for amending rules to allow the creation of a sovereign wealth fund. Dozens of nations, including the likes of China, Japan, Norway and the UK, have federal sovereign wealth funds that invest in assets across the world. The United States does not have a federal fund, but several states in the US have similar funds. Parikshit Luthra is joining us now with more details. Parikshit, interesting proposal this. How far have the talks progressed? What can we expect?
Well, the central government is considering the idea of a sovereign wealth fund for India. CNBC TV18 has learned from sources that preliminary discussions have been held with the RBI, the SEBI, the GIFT City about the possibility of setting up such a fund. The government recently sought views of over 30 PSUs about the possibility of success of such an initiative. Officials privy to the discussion say that government is considering a fund which can invest abroad via PPP mode, and sources aware of the government's thinking feel that a sovereign wealth fund would boost India's stature and capability to invest in infrastructure projects abroad in countries of importance such as Africa. The government is considering whether a sovereign wealth fund would give India more leverage to support friendly countries than lines of credit and grants in aid. As per initial discussions, a $5 billion fund could create at least $10 billion worth of investment opportunities annually. At the moment, such discussions are at an early stage and a formal view is yet to be taken.
Right, Parikshit, thanks a lot so much for that. Now, Bajaj Housing Finance's proposed 6,560 crore rupee initial public offering will open on the 9th of September. The IPO will comprise a fresh issue of equity shares of up to 3,560 crore rupees and an offer for sale to the tune of 3,000 crore rupees by parent company Bajaj Finance. The price band of the offer will be disclosed soon. Shares of Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv rose in early trade on the back of this development. Now, Gujarat Gas zoomed in trade today on the back of its board green-lighting a restructuring scheme last Friday. The scheme proposed a merger of GSPC, Gujarat State Petronet, and GSPC Energy into Gujarat Gas. The company's gas transmission business will also be carved out and be listed as GSPL Transmission. Nimesh Shah is joining us now with more details. Nimesh, break down for our viewers the contours of this scheme, what this means and why the stocks were celebrating today.
Over the weekend, Gujarat-based gas companies GSPC, Gujarat Gas as well as GSPL approved the restructuring scheme which proposes to merge the three entities to simplify the holding structure and to unlock value for investors. The entire scheme of arrangement will be done in three steps. One, GSPC will be merged into Gujarat Gas. Second step, GSPL will be merged into Gujarat Gas. And third, GTL will be removed separately and list after the merger of these businesses. Now, as far as GSPC merger into Gujarat Gas is concerned, the ratio is going to be 10 shares of Gujarat Gas for 305 shares of GSPC. The second step would be merger of GSPL into Gujarat Gas, wherein Gujarat Gas, the 10 shares of Gujarat Gas for every 13 shares of GSPL. And the third is going to be GTL, which will be demerged and listed separately. There will be 1 share of GTL for 3 shares of Gujarat Gas. This is the scheme of arrangement. Now, essentially, this has been done to simplify the holding structure. What is the existing structure? Gujarat government owns close to 55.5% in GSPC, which is unlisted. Now, GSPC in turn owns close to 37% in GSPL, and GSPL in turn owns close to 54% in Gujarat Gas. This is the existing structure. It will change after the demerger process. How it will look like? First company will be Gujarat Gas. Now, in Gujarat Gas, there will be city gas distribution business, gas trading, E&P in the renewables business, and the related investments. This will be one entity. The second entity will be GTL. Now, GTL will have the gas transmission business, which will be demerged from GSPL, and the related investments will also be into GTL. So that's the structure, how it will look like. Brokerage seems to be quite bullish on the merger announcement. So Antique has actually raised the target price in Gujarat Gas to 726. They believe that the merger is value accretive from day one itself. Even Equirus today has upgraded Gujarat Gas to an add. They have a target price of 667. They believe that it's a well-thought merger and will benefit Gujarat Gas to become the second largest gas trading company in India after GAIL India. However, there are some skeptics as well. So Jefferies actually has an underperform rating with a target price of 450. They believe that while the integration of GSPC's gas business, trading business, will improve the Gujarat Gas margins profile, however, earnings volatility will rise, implying a lower valuation multiple as far as Gujarat Gas is concerned. So essentially, as I said, the whole entire restructuring has been done to simplify the holding structure as well as value unlock in GSPL.
Right, Himesh, thanks so much for that. Now, the Congress party has leveled fresh allegations against SEBI chairperson Madhabi Puri Buch. Congress spokesperson Pawan Khera accused her of conflict of interest by drawing a remuneration worth nearly 17 crore rupees from ICICI Bank while she was employed with the market regulator SEBI. Khera said that several probes on ICICI Bank were being adjudicated while Madhabi Puri Buch was receiving this income from the group. The Congress is calling this a serious breach of ethics and accountability in public service. Pawan Khera also questioned the integrity of SEBI, stating that the market regulator should maintain impartiality and independence.
सेबी की चेयरपर्सन जब वो मेंबर थी, होल टाइम मेंबर थी, 2017 से 2024 के बीच में रेगुलर इनकम आईसीआईसीआई बैंक से ले रही थी 16 करोड़ 80 लाख। ये सीधे सीधे सेक्शन 54, सेक्शन 54 ऑफ सेबी, जो एम्प्लॉइज सर्विस रेगुलेशन 2001, मैं इसका एनेक्शर आपको दिखाऊंगा, उसका वायलेशन है। सीधे सीधे ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट का मामला है, सीधा। इसमें अगर किसी में थोड़ी सी भी अगर लिहाज, शर्म, लज्जा कुछ हो, वो इस्तीफा देगा, 1 मिनट नहीं रुकेगा इस एक्सपोजर के बाद।
Well, the SEBI chief addressed an event by industry body CII in Mumbai today. She stopped short of talking about real estate investment trust or REITs, saying that if she utters the word, she will be accused of conflict of interest. Last week, while speaking at the Global FinTech Fest, the SEBI chief had touted small and medium REITs, saying that they received positive feedback from the industry. Last month, US-based short seller Hindenburg had accused the SEBI chief of conflict of interest in approving a REIT backed by Blackstone, where her husband was employed as an advisor. Buch and her husband have denied all these charges made by Hindenburg. Here is SEBI chief speaking this morning.
This is all simple stuff that technology will enable. Of course, there was a mention of REITs, but ajkal if I utter the word REITs, I am accused of conflict of interest. So perhaps it would be better for me to abstain. But indeed, these are the emerging asset classes in our country. Globally, they are large, strong. They monetize a lot of the build-out of the infrastructure of the country. They have a huge, multiplier effect in terms of the growth of the country. So all of this is very much on our agenda, and it will be done in a manner of co-creation, because that's the only sensible way to do it.
Well, with that, it's time now for slipping into a very short break. But coming up, the Union Cabinet clears 7 schemes to bolster the agriculture sector with an outlay of nearly 14,000 crore rupees. Details when we come back. Welcome back. You're watching Business 360 with me, Ashmit Kumar. Now, the Cabinet has approved 7 schemes worth about 14,000 crore rupees for the agriculture sector. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav made these announcements after the meeting of the Union Cabinet, chaired by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Shivani Bajaj joining us now with more details on the respective schemes and their allocations. Shivani.
Well, Ashmit, absolutely major announcements today from the Cabinet and mostly around agriculture and infrastructure. 7 key initiatives that were announced today with an outlay of around 14,000 crore rupees. So big outlay over there. Agriculture has seen a lot of programs. So let me just go through the key projects that were announced by the Cabinet, approved by the Cabinet today. It has a 2,817 crore digital agri mission, a 3,979 crore plan for food and nutritional safety, and rupees 71,000 crore initiative for livestock health and production. Beyond agriculture, there were also programs approved about key infrastructure projects across the country. This includes a 309-kilometer railway line between Mumbai and Indore, which are the 2 major commercial hubs in the country. This will be the shortest railway line between these 2 commercial hubs. Now, the project will cost around 18,000 crore rupees, and it's likely to be completed by 2028-2029. Additionally, under the India Semiconductor Mission, the Cabinet has also approved this to set up a new semiconductor unit by Kane Semicon Private Limited in Sanand in Gujarat with a total investment of around 3,300 crore rupees. So these were the big initiatives, the big programs being approved by the Cabinet today. Back to you.
Right, Shivani, thanks so much for that. Now, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana are grappling with heavy rains and floods for the 2nd consecutive day. At least 27 people across both the states have been killed in rain-related incidents. 26 National Disaster Response Force teams have been deployed for flood relief and rescue operations in the states. The Telangana government has stepped up relief measures after at least 15 people were killed. Affected people have been moved to relief camps in the state. Vijayawada has been the worst affected district in Andhra Pradesh after a rivulet on the outskirts overflowed at several points yesterday. Some courtroom action now. Supreme Court has decided to intervene against state governments deploying bulldozers to demolish properties of accused persons. The Apex Court has asked, how can a house be demolished even if the person is convicted? The court has also called for a pan-India set of guidelines to streamline bulldozer demolitions. Also, the Supreme Court has formed a high-level committee to resolve the grievances of protesting farmers at the Shambhu border. The Apex Court has said that the committee will convene its first meeting this week and has been asked to identify the key issues that need to be addressed. The government has summoned the content head of Netflix over the web series ICICI, which is based on the hijacking of an Indian Airlines flight by the terrorist group in 1999. Likely to seek an explanation over the representation of terrorist figures in the series. The series has been Right into Fear, the Captain story, which has been authored by Captain Devi Sharan. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. More news and updates will continue right here on CNBC TV 18.